Alright everybody, welcome to HGR on a Thursday night. Garrett Jenkins up in the booth with the Raging Idiot Racing Network. I have a special request to check out a driver's paint job. See if I can find this in here. John Darnell, top of the board over Justin Johnson, Quentin Stenbach, John Ward, Michael Wingo, Jason Branch, and just a few others. So we wait for while we wait here, Quentin Stenbach in new colors tonight. New colors, new number. Coors Light number 3. Right now it's pushing Jason Branch. Both Branch sets 6 quickest with a 49.82. Still plenty of time for some drivers to come in and make this field just a little bit bigger. Right now 17 drivers on tap tonight. So right now with just under 2 minutes left. See if we can't pull in the fastest man in HGR right now. Practice wise, I mean. John Darnell, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4, I do.
Well, buddy, right now, the fastest in practice right now. Got a little bit of extra motivation to see if you can get the pole here tonight, possibly a win.
Yeah, it's always a little extra motivation, man. Going to be running with Kenny McCauley tonight, try to help him win that password bonus. But I'm just thankful I got a sponsorship to race tonight's race. Thanks goes out to Kenny McCauley, please.
All right, buddy. We look forward to see how you racked up tonight. Just under a minute to go. John Darnell, fast in practice. Pretty good time, buddy.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yes.
Matter of fact, Kenneth McCullough just joined in to the session. Kenneth McCullough, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy real quick?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, buddy, going for that password bonus tonight. How do you feel about your chances going into the night?
Feeling pretty good about it. I'm just going to give it all I got and be a little patient. Hopefully, I'll be there at the end.
All right, buddy. Just wanted to ask you that quick question real fast. I know you about to get ready to work with John Darnell. Hopefully, we'll talk to you at the end of this thing. Hopefully, you make you a little bit extra money.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. So, Ken McCullough going for the password bonus tonight. And with that being said, practice concluded. John Darnell, fastest. Now, who will be the first one to try to post a qualifying run? Garrett Caswell. One of my personal favorite Alex Bowman paint jobs. Of course, Caswell's always at the front. No doubt about it. We'll see if he can get up there tonight and get a win in HGR. James Waring rolling out onto the track. Of course, we mentioned earlier Quentin Standbach. He'll be the third driver to try to attempt to take the pole. Of course, Standbach in different colors. Normally see him in a 22. Tonight, Coors Light's on the front of the hood. Number 3's on the side. From there, it's going to be a toss-up afterwards. Sean Corbett rolling out onto the track, followed by John Ward. And then you got the 28 of Jason Branch. All big names, but right now focus back in on Garrett Caswell. Of course, Caswell last night, for those that tuned in, Caswell was third quick. Well, finished third last night. Looking to try to go up one more spot. Two more, I really should say. So at the line, Garrett Caswell fastest to the first sector over drivers going through there. And at the line stays a little high. First lap. Oh, okay, we're doing 2-car. So a bit of a rule change. Instead of typical 1 lap, drivers will now get 2 laps. Part of its preparation for that big race coming up in a couple weeks. Right now, Quentin Standbach to the top of the charts, 52.116. Waring just posted his lap. It will be third quickest with a 52.741. I will say this right now. The quickest man on the first half of an opening qualifying lap, Keith McCullough, 26 flat through the first half of this track. So now McCullough to the line. Is it quick enough to take lap 1? It is. Top of the board, 52.08. McCullough's going back and on down. Waring, will he improve on this lap? He will, third quickest. The other drivers coming down to complete there. Sean Corbett. So Corbett off of turn 4. This will be his final lap. And at the line, survey says, does Corbett improve? He does, P3. Hell of a drive by Sean Corbett. 25 of Christopher Carter. Just rolling out, but with just under 40 seconds remaining, I do not think the 25 is going to be able to get a lap in. Jackson Byes will slide in the 5th quickest. But when I say that, he gets knocked down to 6th by Jeff Moore. All right, now John Ward on pole. And with that, qualifying has concluded. 19 drivers will be taking a green flag tonight. John Ward picking right up where he left off last night. So let's see if we can't get a quick word with John. John Ward, Garrett Jenkins up in the big guy, copy?
I got you.
Well, buddy, I would have pushed you up here faster, but I have more rooms to jump through now. But, buddy, picking up right where you left off. Number 3 looks bad fast like it did last night.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to keep her up here. They're gonna lose some issues in the race, but I'm gonna keep her up here and try to keep her clean and green. We'll see how it goes.
All right, buddy. Do you anticipate a race like we saw last night, caution free all the way up until the last lap? Do you see that playing out tonight, or are the counterparts to the Xfinity cars just a whole different beast?
We're probably gonna have a yellow. I hope it stays green. Maybe we'll have one or maybe two, but I think we'll have one, at least one in these cars. We'll see how it goes. If it stays green, if we get a pit stop, it will probably stay green.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll look forward to seeing if you can go 2 in a row on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you, Gary.
Yes, sir. John Ward start from the pole, the 2023 PGR champion, going for 2 in a row. And I got to say, 7-time PGR Intimidator Series winner. Got to throw that out there, too. That being said, we'll go to roll through the starting grid for tonight. John Ward on pole, Keith McCullough starting second. McCullough going for the password bonus tonight. A little more insight on that later on in the race. Richard Elliott, Jeff Murray, 3rd and 4th. Sean Corbett, Jackson Buys, 5th and 6th. Quentin Standbach, the pride of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And James Warren starting 8th. Warren looking for a great run tonight, trying to break the bad luck streak. John Darnell with Jason Branch, 9th and 10th. Garrett Caswell, Justin Johnson will round out the fast 12. On down through the field, Matthew Lee, Joshua McCullough, 13th and 14th. Christopher Carter, William H. Scott Jr., 15th and 16th. Ambrose Knievel, Michael Wingo, 17th and 18th. And Zachary Harry will round out the field in 19th position. Of course, last night went caution free, but what they ran last night was the Xfinity cars, so nowhere near as big the runs and nowhere near as big the momentum that these cars can be. Also easier to stay in the draft. If you got the lift for anything, you have better blend in. Try to keep that draft as long as you can. It's going to be interesting to see how this race goes. They've got some familiarity with these cars now. But maybe we'll expect I wouldn't say a caution-free race, but a race where it's going to be a little bit more tamer. We'll have to see. John Ward, Kenneth McCullough brings them down to the United Rentals restart zone. We're rolling 42 laps. Side by side off of 2, down the back straightaway. McCullough and Ward side by side. McCullough with a little bit of a leap out ahead, but here comes that bottom with Ward and Elliott Corbett, just to name a few. Michael Wingo up to the top lane. Jeff Murray down. Murray led the most laps last night of 16. Unfortunately, had to settle for 5th. And at the line, Jeff Murray will pick up where he left off, leading lap 1. Top 3 Racing will foul it out for a moment. Richard Elliott's been on a great streak, has not been able to put a win together, but has consistently been at the front, has led laps. That's Sean Corbin, another one, and then we talked about James Waring on a little bit of a rough, got a little bit of a rough go throughout the summer. Corbett's another one, has had great speed, has been at the front the whole time, driving a 45. Not really able to find victory lane. Something always happens. How about Kevin McCullough coming back on the outside? McCullough racing for a little bit more money tonight. Right on board with those three. Back through it, not really able to get him to run like he really wants to. He's just making runs. It really is. But you got to time them right to really do something with them. John Ward up to the top lane of Richard Elliott to cover the 03 of McCullough. Jeff Murrick and Sean Corbett trying to pull that bottom lane up. That consists of Jason Brandt, John Darnell, Justin Johnson, just to name a few. Giving John Ward will lead his first lap tonight. The number 3 was not a factor up to the very end last night, but John Ward only led 2 laps, led with 3 to go, and led on the last lap. Got Richard Elliott trying to pull that bottom lane up. Jackson Byes not neatly back. Byes now trying to lead that bottom lane. Byes not led a lap tonight yet. But right now he's looking to rectify that. Ward at the line, however. Ward will get it. Here's McCullough. When we hung out to dry, Quentin Stanbach thought about going up there, but now the 03 going backwards. Won't be for long as he can see a little bit of massive blocking going on. Off of 2, Elliott gets ran below WL line. A great save by Richard Elliott, but man, was it close. Here comes Murray back to the bottom. James Waring to make it 3 wide. They're racing like it's the last lap. It's only lap 5. Meanwhile, at the line, Jeff Murphy. Sean Corbett is making himself known, running up there in the second spot. Right now, 3 by 3, third on back. Justin Johnson tried to go to the bottom, not able to get there. You see Garrett Gaswell. A little bit of internet issues going on. Managed to keep it straight for the moment. Still a lot of blocking going on. Murray up the cover. Jackson Byes all over the place. Hang on to her, Jackson. Good God, what a save. However, odd man out in that third line, and Byes will be going back if he cannot blend in fast enough. He will. Right behind Quentin Stanbach. John Corbett's led his first laps of the race tonight so far. Other than that little bit of a scrap on lap 5, we've pretty much kept it clean for the most part. John Ward pushing Corbett out way ahead. Richard Elliott with another great run is going to look to the outside. James Waring's going to stay right behind the 3 of Ward. Garrett Caswell has incorporated himself into the top 5. Couple of drivers lost the lead draft. Right now the 04. For the 04, the 69 off the pace. So is the 21 of Scott, and so is Wingo. We'll focus back in on the lead pack real fast. with 35 to go. We'll see, gonna find out at some point. Green flag pit stops might be a factor in this at some point down the line. Wearing in the wall a little bit, having to keep it straight. See a few drivers migrating back down to the bottom. Branch was one of them in that 28, fourth car on the bottom, just out of view. Here comes Christopher Carter. Carter on the inside. Getting pushed by Justin Johnson. Quentin Stanbach, Jason Branch. Coming up the middle. I believe Matthew Lee says he's in the 19, but I want to believe he's in that 04 car. And they're still dicing around. Well, right now Corbett trying to defend all three lanes. He'll actually get stuck in the middle. Corbett wearing. Oh, Johnson's gonna get turned. Justin Johnson around. No caution, barely keeps it off the wall. But Justin had a great race going last night. We'll see what happened real fast. He had a great race last night, but not the finish that he was wanting. We'll look back here at the replay real fast. He's going to come up, tried to get clear of Corbett, second guessed it. Quentin Stanbach really had nothing he could do. And Justin's back rolling. However, it really hurt Stanbach a lot. It also hurt Corbett. How does Corbett get involved in this here? Look and see, but right now, some of the favorites already. Corbett was just up front a lap ago, but now out of the lead draft and be back there with Quentin Stanbach. About 6 seconds behind him. Lead pack here, they're going too wide again. Carson McCullough has inserted himself into the top three. Really trying to rebound after last go with McCullough up the block. Murray big time. Jason Branch says I'll go to the middle end. We're going to go three wide again, but McCullough and Murray on the outside. Jackson Bice trying to get clear right now. Middle lane and top have the advantage. 5 cars, then 4 cars, then 3. From bottom to top. Right now, there you go, going up on the lap car, Michael Wingo. Wingo lost the draft earlier on in this race. And Wingo will be the first car 1 lap down. Right now, both McCullough's 1 and 2, not for the moment. Josh McCullough getting pushed to the front by Christopher Carter. Well, Kenneth will find the 0-2 of Richard Elliott. Right now, we're going to try to form. If McCullough wants to jump up in front of his dad, he had the chance, but not anymore. Just shows how big the runs are. Down back straightaway outside lane, a great pull. That bottom's going to jump right back up. Wind in line. Maybe we're going to start seeing some fuel saving going on. We'll pull up the pit strategy link here. Kevin McCullough, we've seen pretty much everybody on the same strategy. 12 laps into this race, going to be 13 here soon. If anything like we saw last night, they might be able to go to at least 24 laps. Hell, maybe more, 27, 28. Just got to wait to that first pit stop, see how it plays out. See Keith McCullough, what an aggressive move to cover the bottom lane. You see Ward all out of shape. Outside lane pushing. Well, one thing you don't want to do with these cars, you don't want to be pushing the guy in front of him when he's already pushing the guy in front of him. Perfect example would be Christopher Carter, John Ward, and Jay's Waring that outside lane. Waring does not want to push Ward when Ward is locked on to the back bumper to 25. At that point, Ward's going to be either fighting to keep it off the wall or fighting to keep it from spinning out. Don't want to be the meat and sandwich, pretty much. Right now, we work lap 15, biggest mover since start this race. Christopher Carter up 12 spots, 25 for rolling on that outside lane. Josh McCullough up 7 from where he started. They're pretty much a tie, three-way tie for the third biggest movers. James Waring, one of them. Swapping so much we can't really keep track of it. But right now McCullough up 5 spots. Changing constantly. But right now William H. Scott will be coming the next one. NASCAR 1 lap down. Great save by Joshua McCullough in the back. Right now John Ward leading. North Familia did not watch the race last night. John Ward trying to go 2 in a row in HGR tonight. Only led 2 laps last night. He's about to lead his third one tonight. 26 to go. Pretty much everything's kind of settled down real fast for the moment. A lot of 2 wide racing. Cut up on the next lap car. That would be Justin Johnson, who took a spin a couple of laps ago. Right now, McCullough in there really trying to bring the outside lane back. Go see Jackson Byes. He's going to slide up in front. Out in the line, Ward will lead, but here comes a great run for Jackson Byes, getting pushed back against McCullough. That's really what Byes wanted. Now Byes can drop down if he really wants to and cover that third lane, but he's actually going to stay on the outside here and try to utilize that run that the outside lane gets, and you see it now. The bottom lane's already fell like a rock. Then McCullough immediately right back down to the bottom with Richard Elliott. Jackson Byes going to get left outside here. But now John Darnell with him. But really 2 cars in this outside lane really ain't going to do much. Out in the line, McCullough will lead. The other thing to watch for, watch how these cars start dancing around. The older these tires get, the more they want to slip and slide. They want to lose grip. You'll see several drivers as the older these tires get, they'll start getting loose off the corner, stuff like that. Right now, top 3 separated by just about a car length. Well, 23 to go, really, for several drivers. If you're not involved in front pack, you're praying for a caution. We'll go back and see some of them drivers. Right now, there's actually a second pack that's been formed. But you're looking at Sean Corbett, Quentin Stanbot, Ambrose Knievel, Zachary Harry. Michael Wingo has latched onto them as well. Wingo's one lap down. Well, they can get hooked up with William H. Scott then. And then Justin jumped out right. James Waring in the grass. Drivers coming on the pit road. It's going to be one of the most treacherous, and it bites James Waring. It bites two more drivers, Jason Branch, Christopher Carter, black flags, too fast entering. James Waring as well. So massive implications for them three drivers tonight. It's been a very tough night for several drivers. You just look at the drivers that was back there in that little 5-car pack. Here comes the rest of them, led by Keith McCullough. Josh and McCullough locking up the tires, so does Kenneth. Matthew Lee, black flag, too fast entering. Wow. It's amazing how pit stops work out. Garrett Caswell. Caswell's already made his pit stop. I believe he was one of the few drivers that already came in. Him and John Ward both. Ward's going to try to get hooked up with him as fast as they can, try to push him. Well, at the pace they're going, if they can push. And they'll be able to catch the pack of cars just rolling out the pit lane. Well, there's Kenneth McCullough. James Waring as well. Waring, he won that push so bad, he came right up in front of Ward. But when it's all said and done and re-racked out, you're looking at the three leaders of Richard Elliott, Josh McCullough, and Jackson Byes. Well, I mean, you heard what John Ward said. If they could make it to the first pit stop, and he had a feeling it would stay green the entire time. So as it stands, could you be looking at the race between these three drivers? Because 5 seconds back, Darnell Waring, who was one lap down, but John Ward, Garrett Caswell, all coming back out. You see a 60 of Jeff Merrick, 1 lap down. Or not 1 lap down, 5 laps down. But they can get hooked up with the 60, and Waring, they will easily catch his front pack. I had to think that James Waring would be on board with it, because he'll get his lap back if he can get up there back in front of Richard Elliott and him. It's going to be interesting to see on back through the field. Keith McCullough running all by himself. At the moment, he is one of several drivers needing a caution. You look at this little 6-car, well 5-car I should say, pack here, mainly consists of lap down cars, but Quentin Stanbach on the lead lap. Corbett as well. But Wingo, Scott, and Johnson all 1 lap down. You see Christopher Carter going 1 down. Richard Elliott's going to go out up to the very top of the racetrack. Going to give up the front position, but will fall back into 3rd. Right now, that other tag. George saying there's other drivers, of course, there's lap cars involved in this one. But right now, Ward, Darnell, and Caswell, they're the ones really trying to play catch up. They're just trying to get these lap cars formed up together so they can start building a run back to the top 3. You see Jason Branch didn't get down. He wants to join in on this deal. Yes, they are. They are indeed Gen 6s. See Murray up to the top side again. Murray 5 laps down. Caswell still pushing. Right now this pack is catching ever so slightly. To the top 3 being, well, the thing is a little bit more complicated for Ward and Caswell and Darnell, because what was 3 cars is now morphed into 5 with the with Matthew Lee now 1 lap down. So then Christopher Carter as well 1 down. Right now as they run, McCullough still leading. Joshua McCullough, that would be, led 5 laps tonight. His dad, Keith McCullough, has led 7. And now he will slide back into 3rd and let Jackson Byes lead a little bit. Speaking of Keith McCullough, right now he is hooked up with William H. Scott. McCullough running 9th. Still going for that password bonus if he can win tonight. Right now, caution will change everything, but went caution free last night. Had a wreck run on the last lap. The last 500 feet, actually. Never too early to pick your pre-race winner. You can be bold and predict the race winner right now, or hell, you can shout out your favorite driver and let them know you're watching tonight. If you like to do so, you can put in the comment section. So right now, for Jackson Byes fan, Byes leading his second lap of the night. Richard Elliott and Joshua McCullough in that's 2nd and 3rd. The 2 cars you see behind them of Matthew Lee and Christopher Carter, they are a lap down. That's actually the race for the free pass. You got to go about 5 seconds back to find 4th, 5th, and 6th. Consisting of John Ward, John Darnell, and Garrett Caswell. Of course, James Waring in front of them, trying to pull them up to the front. But right now, they're really not gaining much time. Ain't gaining much time, or hardly gaining any. So with that being said, we'll focus in back on the front 3 for the moment. Well, pretty much just will play into Byes and Elliott and McCullough's hands. If things just stay green like they are, it'll be between these 3 drivers. Of course, top 5 drivers getting paid out tonight. First place will receive 60, 2nd and 3rd 50, 4th and 5th will only receive $40. Jeff Murray entered the pit. He was already 5 laps down, not going to get 19 after leading the most laps last night. Focus back in on 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. For the moment, they're still slowly bleeding time as they stand. Matter of fact, we can alter the little ticker up here. And there you see the gap between 3rd and 4th. kind of getting a little bit into trouble, but you see how much they give up. Garrett Caswell still blinking ever so slightly. It's not as bad as what it was. A lot of top six have not changed. We'll go back to the check-in on 7th, 8th, and 9th. See a little bit of a bigger pack as 4, and you see Quentin Standbach jump out of line. Right now, this pack has really grown into an even bigger pack, but right now, they're already 24 seconds behind and counting. I doubt that they will have enough time to catch up to the front three, especially when they're getting separated like that. So it's 10 to go. With 10 to go, a caution right now would be bad. You see Ambrose Knievel, Zachary Harry getting put a lap down by the front pack, and this will actually intense the battle for the free pass. Well, you gotta have a caution for the free pass anyway. Caution was coming out now. 9 drivers still eligible to compete for the win. Everybody else 1 lap down or more. Well, with 9 to go, it'll probably just stay like this. Everybody minding their P's and Q's. Everybody was really banking for a caution either when Justin Johnson got turned and or whenever there's a little bit of calamity on pit road. They did not get that caution. So right now, as far as the top 3 between Vise, Elliott, and McCullough are concerned, this race for the foreseeable future will be determined between these 3 drivers with 8 to go. So John Ward and that group still falling back. You see on the ticker 6.4 seconds back. Believe it or not, whenever we talk about how, see Jeff Merritt come back into the pits, but when we talk about how important pit road is to winning these races, I mean, it's a prime example of how, again, on and off pit road is so crucial. And honestly, if you're these 3, if you're Byes, you're Elliott, you're McCullough, you have played it perfectly tonight. The only issue is going to be, will there be a caution? That's going to be the main thing tonight. Will there be a caution? Well, I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to say no. Oh, there's going to be a caution. They're running too spread out right now, really, for there to be one. I would think there's no reason for anybody to really be pushing as hard unless you're just going for an extra $10. But I mean, 2nd and 3rd get paid out $50, and then 4th and 5th paid out $40. Only a $20 difference between 1st and 5th. The only way I see it getting racy, other than going for the win, will be between that last payout spot. Right now, Garrett Caswell holding that payout spot in 5th. You see John Darnell start to lose the draft. Of course, we talk about how easy it was to lose the draft in these cars. A prime example. 5 to go. course, this is pretty much a practice and run. Still money on the line, still racing, but a lot of these drivers racing in the SummerSlam 499 coming up in a couple weeks. 4 straight days of nothing but Talladega and what's known as the biggest race of the summer as far as iRacing and money racing is concerned. And of course, not to try to give out any secrets, but plans are in effect for this network to maybe do a little bit of a special event of their own. We'll have to see. Nothing's official yet. It's kind of in the planning phase. But we'll worry about that when it gets time. 3 to go for Jackson Buys. Of course, really nobody's going to try to make a move. Because probably, if Elliott is to make a move, he'll probably wait until the absolute last second. Well, if you make a move too early, Joshua might go with you. He might not. It all depends. But if he does not, then Elliott will fall to the back of this little train that they got going on here. Of course, the other 4 drivers behind the front 3 are all 1 lap down. Good to go. Well, if you're Richard Elliott or Joshua McCullough, what do? Do you just ride, take the easy money, or do you try to go for a little bit more? Right on board for Richard Elliott. White flag, 1 to go. Not making a move yet. If he is going to make one, City 02 wiggling just a little bit. He's really pushing that 33 for all it's worth. What do you do? You're McCullough. Do you trust these lap cars to go with you? We're just going to wait and see. Off of turn 4, they got to get through Triola to the start-finish line. McCullough looks to the bottom of Elliott. 3 wide between the lap cars and McCullough. At the line, Jackson Buys will lead the most laps and take it on High Gear Racing Thursday night. Richard Elliott second, John McCullough third, John Ward, John Darnell rounds out the five spots paying out tonight. Garrett Catchwell 6th, Quentin Stanbach 7th, Kevin McCullough 8th. There's actually a wreck on the front straightaway. Michael Wingo and Justin Johnson. That will be how this race ends for both of them. Jackson Buys in victory lane tonight. And being joined in the booth by Jackson Buys. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, buddy, pretty calm race for a Gen 6 race, buddy. Tell me about it. Was it pretty much executing pit road tonight that got you in the position to where it's just between you and Elliott and McCullough?
Well, I decided tonight I wanted to try and run up front more, and it paid out in the end.
I'd say it paid out in a very big way, buddy. You will walk out of here leading the most laps tonight of 16. And really, were you surprised of it being a little bit of a calm race? We had a little bit of action 3 wide early on in the event, but were you surprised about it going caution free?
Kind of. I thought the caution was going to come out there whenever they were wrecking on the front stretch, or not wrecking, but spinning. And then I really expected one whenever the three of us got away from the rest of the field on pit road.
Yeah, that's what we were. I was in the same boat. I was thinking the same thing myself. Well, Jackson, it was a hell of a race for you tonight. You played all your cards right. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Just my friends and family, and looking forward to hopefully running good in the SummerSlam.
Yes, sir, buddy. Well, if it's any indication tonight, you'll be one of the ones everybody's going to be gunning to beat. Best of luck to you in that, and congratulations tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Jackson By is your winner for High Gear Racing on a Thursday night. Dude, we can't get Richard Elliott in here. Richard Elliott, Garrett Jenkins up here in the B. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, bit of a very calm race tonight. Were you surprised about that whole thing in general tonight?
I was surprised we had such a big jump on the pit stop, and then when they really didn't make anything up, we just stayed in line. Figured we'd race it out at the end, but we didn't get much chance to do that either. So, kind of a boring race.
Yeah, it is great moments, but I wanted to ask, you've been on a great streak as of late. I know I think it was last week, you ran in the top 5 in the point or in the money paying positions just about every race broadcasted. How do you look forward into taking this momentum into the future, and if you're running the SummerSlam 499?
Yeah, I'm excited about SummerSlam. Between it and things I got going on with work, I'm not sure yet. But if I can, I'm going to run it. Broadcast you didn't do the other night, a couple nights ago, I actually won that one. So I have a win under my belt finally.
Well, damn, you're on a damn hot streak then, ain't you?
Kenny pushed me, did a hell of a job, and pushed me to the win. And so, yeah, it's been good. I'm enjoying being able to race, and we don't have a bunch of cautions. Makes it nice for everybody.
Yes, sir, it does, buddy, real fast. And then I'll let you hop on out here, chat with some of the other drivers. Is there anybody you want to thank? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
All right, I'd like to thank Jimmy for what he's doing with this league. Kenny, Josh, McCullough, John Ward, they're all really good for this community. Thank you for doing the broadcast when you do, and that'll do it.
All right, buddy. Richard Elliott will come home in the second spot tonight. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That being said, trying to see if I can find Joshua McCullough. I did not see him at this time, so we're going to drop down to the 4th place driver here. John Ward, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, buddy, unfortunately, the 2 in a row tonight will not be in the cars. What was the struggle really trying to get caught back up to the 3 drivers?
I'm sorry I cut you off. Yeah, we pit there a little early, like I'm about 7 laps before they did. Just want to try to get on pit road and off before all the mayhem. But we had little issues. I think Jason got into pit road hot, and I moved up and got into jam. I think Chris got in it. But anyway, it took a few of us out, and there was only a couple left. We did all we did to try to push and get up there. We even swapped drivers, and we just could not get with them. They kept accumulating more and more cars up there, and we just could not catch them.
Well, at what point does it turn into now you're seeing that you're not going to be able to catch Buys or Elliott or McCullough, at what point does it turn into, well, now I got to protect the money spot because I got Caswell and Darnell behind me. Only you and one of them other twos will be walking out of here with a little bit of money in your pocket tonight. So at what point did it change into maybe now I got to start defending?
Yeah, I would say about 5 to go. I know because we kept swapping back there, trying to get as fast as we wasn't worried about the finish. But when it got 5 to go, I've seen Garrett and Darnell. He kept jumping out like he wanted to do something, and I mean, all I could do was hold the bottom. I had James in Discord, but I don't, if they get on that top and pull you back, it's still hard. But it was all on Garrett there. If he would have jumped out, I would have just had to stay on the bottom and try to defend as best as I could. But luckily, I think they got into it back there. It seemed like Garrett was going to push me and just try to get a money spot there. But I guess about 3 to 5 to go. It would say that I was worried about them guys jumping up and trying to get around me.
All right, well, John, real fast, the question coming up next. Well, is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. And then I do got actually one more question for you. I'm assuming that you're going to be running the SummerSlam 499 coming up in a few days. How does all this positive momentum fit? You win last night. You get 4 tonight. You've been on a hot streak. Getting money wise out of these races. How does all this motivate you, and how is it going to affect how you drive into 499 if you run it?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of momentum if you win these races or even finish up in the money. I know I give a lot back to the community, but still, when you run up front and you win and you cash, it makes you feel good. It makes you want to keep running and racing and doing this. And it's definitely a lot of momentum going in. And I'm gonna run the SummerSlam, and I'm gonna try to do really good in that. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, yep, I'm looking forward to it, and it's gonna give me a lot of momentum by running up front and getting all this practice in. And I'd like to thank you for the broadcast, Jimmy Crow for putting the race on, everybody a part of Dega Pros there, and everybody that a part of this money racing. It's really coming together, and we're having fun.
All right, buddy. Appreciate your time tonight. John Ward will come in 4th tonight. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, that being said, we'll go ahead and go through the starting lineup, and then we'll shift gears. New series coming tomorrow night, where it's pretty much going to be HGR, much as I hate to do a drug reference, on steroids. Because tomorrow night, as far as I am concerned, BDS Racing will make his debut on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. It'll be tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern, so a little bit of a late Friday night event. But all that's for tomorrow. We'll go through the results tonight. So Jackson Byes, Richard Elliott, Joshua McCullough able to play the pit road strategy right. And with that being said, it will be decided between them three. Jackson Byes coming out on top. John Ward 4th. John Darnell 5th. Garrett Caswell 6th. Quentin Stanbach, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Sean Corbin, and Matthew Lee round out the top 10. Zachary Harry, Christopher Carter, Ambrose Knievel, James Waring, Jason Branch all round out the top 15. William H. Scott. Justin Johnson had a great run going until getting turned early in the race. Never had a chance to recover. He'll have to settle for 17th. Michael Wingo in the 18th spot. And round out the field, Jeff Merrick will have to settle for 19th after leading the most laps last night. But for Jackson Byes, it was a job well done, a perfect race from beginning to end. And with that being said, we look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow night and Saturday night. Of course, Inspired will start there. Of course, Inspired Racing League has the ARCA Series on Thursday night. Or not Thursday night. Saturday night. Just going to look forward to see the best that ARCA has to bring out. But until then, I will see each and every one of you hopefully tomorrow night. If not tomorrow night, then I will see you on Saturday night. Until then, everybody take care. Have a good rest of the week.